everyone, I am back again, and today I thought it'd be fun to do a cool movie ABC tag game. And basically, the rules are if you want to play along in the comments section, if you want to make your own video, feel free. I thought I'd just do a fun video for this week. And basically, the rules are you pick your favorite movies from A to Z, and you can use, like, you can put the or a in front of a movie title before a letter that you're using in your A to Z. So for example, I used The King's Speech as my K movie, and it has the in front of King's, obviously. So you can do that as well. And I didn't get a movie for X. I looked up some X movies and they're all X-Men, which is not really my thing, so I didn't use that one. But everything else, I pretty much got the letters for. Now some of these are really hard. I kind of had to pick movies that aren't really like my favorite movies, just so I could fill in the letters, but I will go one by one so I don't, so this video doesn't run on forever. I have my little notebook with all the movies and I will go one by one. So A, I picked Across the Universe. I am a huge musical movie fan and I love the Beatles, so although this might not be the greatest movie ever made, I really enjoyed this film. One, it was the Beatles. Two, it was a musical movie. For B, I have Woody Allen's Bolts Over Broadway. If you know me, if you know this channel, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that Jennifer Tilly, the actress, is one of my favorite actresses, and I think this was one of her greatest movies, Bolts Over Broadway. You might see a couple other movies by actors that I really like on this list. So you'll see a lot of repeated actors. And again, for C, is Peter Bogdanovich's The Cat's Meow. Also has Jennifer Tilly, but it is a really interesting story. It takes place it's a true story about a murder that happened on William Randolph Hearst's yacht on a weekend in the 20s, and it's just such an awesome movie. I love it. D is Doubt with Meryl Streep. This is one of those movies that I could honestly watch over and over again. It is kind of a mystery, and you don't really you don't really find it out in the end. It's up to you to speculate, and it started out as a stage play, and I just think it's such a great film, and I love Meryl Streep. She's one of my favorite actresses, so you'll see a lot of her movies repeated on this list. Next, letter E, I picked The Exorcist, one of my favorite horror movies. I think maybe the greatest horror movie of all time. No really big explanation there. I did the Exorcist review on my channel, so if you want to see that, I'll put it down below. For F, there's a couple things I went through. I picked a Meryl Streep movie, one of her newest ones, Florence Foster Jenkins. I thought it was a great comedy. She was great in it. For G, I picked The Green Mile with Tom Hanks. I really, really love this movie. It is a tearjerker for sure, and I'm a sucker for really well-made dramas, so this is definitely one of them. H, I picked Halloween, the original Halloween. It is such a tradition to watch it in my house every Halloween, obviously, and I love it just because it's such a tradition and it's one of the classics. Another Meryl Streep movie, I picked The Iron Lady. Meryl Streep won her third Oscar for this, and deservedly so. I love period pieces. I love historical films, and Margaret Thatcher is such an inspirational person, an inspirational woman, and I just love that movie. J, I picked Jaws, which is probably my favorite movie of all time. No big explanation there. I think it's Steven Spielberg's best film, and it is one that I've probably seen about 1 trillion times. For K, I picked The King's Speech, which I mentioned before. Great, great, great movie with Colin Firth as King George, Bertie. He struggles with a stammer, like a stutter, and it's all about how he overcame it and how he became such a great leader and a great king. Helena Bonham Carter is great in it too. She's awesome in like everything she's in. And again, another period piece. I love those kind of movies. For Elle, I picked Les Miserables, the 2012 musical movie. I just really loved it. I love that they sang it live. I love that musical. Again, a musical movie. I'm gonna love it. um, for M, I picked Misery, Stephen King's Misery, with Kathy Bates, who is amazing. One of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I could watch that over and over again. Great performances, just an eerie feeling all around, and love it. For N, I picked No Country for Old Men. I thought Javier Bardem played such a great villain in this movie that it's such a memorable performance that it just heightens the movie so much for me, and it sticks in my mind as one of the greatest performances that I've seen. For O, I picked The Orphanage, and it is a Spanish horror movie. It's one of the best, what do I say? One of the best well-made horror films I've ever seen. It is eerie. It doesn't rely on jump scares. It's just about atmosphere, and if you haven't seen it, it is so awesome. Even though it's in a different language, even with the subtitles, it's still great. For P, this was hard for me. I struggled to find a good P movie. I might have been blanking, but I picked the remake of The Producers, another musical movie. I really like the songs in this. It's a funny film. I know it kind of didn't do well, and not a lot of people saw it, but I really enjoyed it. For Q, there weren't a lot of Q movies, so I picked The Queen, another royal movie, historical film. Helen Mirren does a great job as Queen Elizabeth, so I figured I'd put that one on there. R, I picked Rent, another musical movie. There's a trend going on here. I just loved that musical, and I thought the movie, they did a really good job with the movie. It's awesome. And not a lot of R movies that I like. S, I picked Sweeney Todd. It is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Musical movie by one of my favorite directors, Tim Burton. I think it's his best movie in the past, oh my goodness, it's probably been over 10 years now since it's come out. But I just think out of all of his recent movies, I consider it recent, I think this was his best. I just love it. The atmosphere, Stephen Sondheim's music is just so beautiful. And Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, again, they do such a great job in their roles, and it's just so dark and moody, and I just love it. And for T, I picked The Theory of Everything, kind of a more recent movie. I thought Felicity Jones and why am I blanking on his name? Oh my goodness. You're going to have to help me out. I'm going to remember his name when I'm done. But he's in Les Mis too. He's a wonderful actor. He won an Oscar for this, and I don't remember. But it is an awesome movie. I can't believe I don't remember his name. Oh well. For you, I picked The Untouchables. A great older movie. It's not one of my favorites, but I knew the You movie, and I've seen it, and I've liked it, and I've definitely, Sean Connery is great in it. So, pick The Untouchables. For V, I picked The Village. I know not a lot of people liked this movie, but yes, The Village, I think, was definitely underrated. Was an underrated M. Night Shyamalan movie. I know he is kind of like hit or miss, but I actually really enjoyed this one. Yeah, so that's that. I don't want this video to run over too far. For W, I picked The Woman in Black, a current, more recent horror film with Daniel Radcliffe, but I just feel like it felt like an old horror movie. Like, it didn't feel like a more, like, modern film, and it was by Hammer, who did the old like British horror films that I really enjoy, and I really, really, really enjoyed this one. It's creepy. It did have jump scares, but the vibe, which is what I love about horror movies. I like the feeling, the vibe you get from it, and this was definitely a really creepy one. Why I kind of had to go with a movie that was kind of okay because I couldn't find any other why movies that I liked. So I picked Jim Carrey's Yes Man. I thought it was cute. It was one of his more recent, and when I say recent, to me it's recent, but it could have been from like 10 years ago. Um, I enjoyed it. I thought it felt like a Jim Carrey movie, and I like Zoe Deschanel in it, and it was just sweet. It felt like an old school Jim Carrey movie, even though it was more recent. Um, and then my Z movie is Zero Dark 30. I loved it. Again, it's very like, it's a dramatic true story of how they killed Osama bin Laden. The performances in it are wonderful, and it's a heartwarming, not heartwarming, but it's just a cool part of history that we were alive for, and it's just cool seeing like the inner workings and backstory of something. Um, so yeah, that was my ABC tag. I know it's gone on for so long. I'm gonna end it here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to try to play along and do your own ABC tag, you can do it in the comments down below. I'd be excited to read them, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye!